It's about time for episode 3 of session 3. I'm excited because we've seen some developments. What have you noticed recently, Jonathan?
I would say the thing that stands out to me the most is notoriously tight professional Jake Dahl.
Very tight.
Really decided to open it up there in the last episode with pocket fours where he 4-bet Randy, but got pretty unlucky when Randy flopped the nuts against him, lost a pretty big pot.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to want to do that again or not. I liked the idea there because we've got this loose table. He had blind raised in that hand, Jake had, and he ended up in a spot where he's like, well, I think it's better to 4-bet than to just flat here. But then he ran into Randy, and Randy had the nuts. That's just kind of unfortunate. I wonder if he'll tighten up back again or he'll try more stuff like that.
I would expect Jake's going to continue to play his ranges as he would play them. He is a professional, but let's find out.
Let's see it.
Welcome back.
Episode 3 of session 3. That must mean something.
It means there's a blind raise. That's definitely what it means. That's a $20 blind raise in our 5-5 game here, which is
not uncommon.
Yeah, it's kind of the norm, actually. People blind raising. Even the tight pros are blind raising because everyone's blind raising.
And that's Randy who blind raised, and he's not one of the tight players.
No,
we'll say that.
No, he's sort of is leading the league in blind raises, I think.
He's leading the league in VPIP as well, which is not a surprise.
Well, if you're leading the league in blind raises, you're off going to be leading the league in VPIP as well.
Ooh, an action Aaron. This might be the first real hand he's had for a while here.
I thought he was just calling there for a second.
He just chipped up massively against K6 when he made a flush against K6's top pair, and K6 was priced in. K6 has since rebought.
That, of course, was the end of episode 2. Feel free to check that out. Taylor, one of our pros, thinking about it. He's reaching. Looks like he's going to put in a 4-bet here.
This is not going to get action Aaron to fold, is my prediction.
No chance.
Looks like it's 110, 115.
I predict Taylor's going to have a very good hand.
140. I like that sizing. Aaron is called before the cameraman could switch the camera. We don't know what Taylor has. He is a balanced player. He could have a bluff or value here.
Well, action Aaron's not going to fold on this flop. That's for sure.
Taylor could have ace, king, 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 queen, queen. Maybe even 9-9 for value.
Hard to have queen, queen.
Yes. He could also have ace, ace.
Yep.
Those are all his most likely value holdings here.
Would he bet jacks against Aaron in this spot?
I don't think he would. I've seen Taylor do a lot of 3-betting and then checking on the flop, whether or not he hits it.
Okay.
So in that way, he protects himself and is able to check jacks on flops like this.
Cool. Aaron's going to think about it, but there's no chance he's folding on the flop. This is I think no one in the world is folding on this flop.
No. It would be nice to have the ace of diamonds, but
it would.
Still, certainly a call.
Yep.
A raise would be absurd. He chooses just to call, which seems like the right thing.
So far, I'd play every street the way Aaron's played it. All
this spot is up to 650 already. That is going to make Aaron feel a little bit better.
That's a bit of a polarizing card here. Taylor was 665 behind, basically a pot-sized bet, and he does check. Aaron checks it right back. I love it.
Now Aaron's got a full house. He's almost always got the best hand. I have to imagine Taylor has something like ace, ace, jack, jack, or ace 4 suited, something like that.
Taylor's not going to like it, but I got to believe Aaron's going to move him in here. Hoping to get heroed by, I guess it's really just ace, ace, right?
That's really all that can...
I guess an ace could call him also. An ace could hero it. Again, because Aaron can actually have a 9.
5-6 of diamonds.
He could also have just 9-10 or something like that. 9-10 suited. He can show up with those hands.
Oh, Taylor is jack 8, we see now.
So he's got nothing at all. I was wrong about him having a premium hand.
I don't think Aaron's going to get any action here.
Maybe if he bets $70, Taylor will be induced to move in on him. But I don't think anything.
Or maybe he'll call with jack high because Aaron could have 10 high, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron's thinking about it, but he is going to move in, right?
I think he might check it back. He's got that check back face.
Kind of does. Look at this. I think he's checking it. He checks it back. Seems a little tight to me.
And Taylor shows because that's what you do.
A little tight when these are the stacks specifically. If Taylor had 3,000 behind, it's a bit of a different spot where you can get yourself in trouble. But here, less than a pot size or about a pot size bet left. I think you just move him in and hope he has aces.
Yeah, you move him in because you're not worried about getting check shoved on by a king, because that just can't. If he snap calls, maybe you lose a lot. But there's too much value to be had, I think, to check back there.
I agree.
Taylor with a light 4-bet there. Didn't work out that time, but I like that he shifts up the game against this lineup.
And Aaron's a good guy to be 4-betting because he threw out with a huge range of hands, as does Randy.
Yeah, Taylor ran into near the top of the range there.
Yeah. And a quality run out as well.
Digital Dan with the suited ace is going to have the best hand so far.
Also has Action Aaron in flush jail.
I hate flush jail.
No one wants to be in flush jail.
Is that where they flush you down the toilet and you end up in jail?
No.
Oh.
No. That's where you are forced to flush.
Randy's 3-betting, by the way. Look at this. Putting together a 3-bet with a queen 5 off.
Wow. This guy's got just so much heart. It's incredible.
That's why his nickname is the Terminator.
Yeah. He will just keep going until you are dead.
I can't imagine Batiste continuing in this hand unless he decides to put in a 4-bet, which I doubt.
This might get through, ultimately. I don't know if Wonka's going to call with the best hand effectively, but when he's out of position. Is Digital Dan going to call in the cutoff?
Dan and Wonka are the two that might. Well, I guess never mind. Action Aaron, of course, is going to call with the 6 deuce of hearts.
Now Dan may feel a little more obligated to call
and
with position.
Wonka will certainly call at this point.
Yeah, I was assuming it was going to be a heads-up decision for Wonka out of position with 10 high, but
Wonka's got the right kind of hand here.
Yeah. This is definitely a call for Wonka now.
And it's kind of worked out perfectly that Batiste got knocked out of the pot with the Jack 10. So now he has pretty clean equity here.
Yes, that's right. There are no diamonds either.
Yeah, I mean, I like Wonka's spot. Look at the equity. He's got the most equity by a significant margin here.
It's amazing, really.
And he flops incredibly well.
Wow, what a flop. There's not too much action to be had. Digital Dan's the only guy who even has a pair. They check it to him.
He's probably going to check.
He does check.
Wonka, I assume, will bet almost all turn cards. That one is one he might check, actually.
That's the only... A 9 or a 10 were really the only cards he might check. I think he's probably going to bet this anyway when it checks all the way through.
Batiste, by the way, the only guy who folded would have made the nuts on the turn.
Against Wonka with a hand that he was just never going to be able to fold. He checks again.
Is Randy going to take a shot now?
I think Randy often is. He looks like it.
Once he got called so many spots, he kind of shut it down on the flop, but now he's picked up a gut shot, and everybody showed weakness.
But
Aaron's
open-ended.
Yeah. That's 200. I can see a scenario where Aaron wins this pot with 6 high.
I mean, he's going to have to barrel big on the river against Wonka because Wonka knows that Aaron's capable of not having it, and Aaron's often going to bet a king on the turn.
All right, but imagine for a second, Wonka's definitely going to call here.
Of course.
Imagine for a second the deuce of hearts comes off on the river.
Yeah.
Or that's not possible. The 3 of hearts comes off on the river.
Sure.
And Aaron bets 600. Wonka's probably not going to call with a 9.
That's a tough spot for Wonka for sure. Aaron usually doesn't bet that much, though. He's usually going to bet like 400, 450.
Ooh, I think Wonka's considering raising, or else he would have probably called by now. I think he might move in. He has 1.1K. The bet is 200.
Oh, interesting. It's weird to do that with the showdownable hand and a guy who is going to barrel so often, though.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to be in that spot that I described.
Well, I would rather be in that spot than move in and sort of fold out almost all the worst hands and get called by a lot of the better ones, personally. But he is moving in.
He's got equity against anything that calls him, at least.
That's true.
And he's definitely going to get Aaron to fold here.
Yes, Aaron will not be able to call. Aaron does not like it. There's the smile, the rueful smile of I have to fold my 6 high.
Hand in the cookie jar a little bit here.
I mean, it's a reasonable thing for him to bet once it's checked to him on the turn.
Absolutely. But now it feels like your hand's in the cookie jar.
Yeah. And I guess he's doing this just to, I mean, Aaron, they're gonna see this eventually, but yeah. I guess they won't know for a while though. But you don't have to pretend this much. You can just throw it away. Everyone knows you often don't have it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Like you're the bluffing guy. It's okay. Is he gonna do all this and then show like a deuce? I feel like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, he does that type of stuff.
Yeah. And then everyone's gonna laugh and assume he has king deuce. All right, let's go. Let's get in the muck, buddy. Next hand. Let's go. No? Okay.
I think he... Yeah, there he goes. It's a decent-sized pot for Wonka. Even if you don't necessarily love the turn shove, it works out pretty well.
It does work out, and there are some tougher cards for Wonka for sure, but not too many.
He also had Randy behind, by the way. That was maybe part of the shove. Get Randy out of there if Randy has anything showdownable that's better than Wonka.
He rarely does, but I guess he could have specifically jacks and queens.
10s.
We block tens, but yeah, he can have tens. You're right. But Randy's, yeah, I guess Randy can't call with an open ender with tens there.
No, don't think so.
And we actually are in not great shape against two tens specifically, right? They've got
or
good
two
equity.
jacks, really.
No, that's true. That's true.
Jake's hat's getting a little more sideways. The tighter he gets, the more sideways his hat gets.
Jake made that one move. It really didn't work. And besides that, he's just been eroding, slowly eroding his stack.
Eloquent, Jonathan.
Thank you. Taylor's going to play this one.
25. The Taylor Open. His hat's also sideways. What does that mean? I think there's some
It's
sort
different.
of Illuminati thing going on here.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. So, Batiste defending with the 5-4 off. Not a hand you have to defend with, but he's an action player.
He likes to defend. That's a horrible flop for Taylor's hand.
Yep.
Also Batiste's hand, but Taylor's going to check back a lot on this board. I guess not this time. I think he probably... Oh, I guess Batiste folded very quickly.
Yeah, well, sure.
I think he probably assumes that Batiste has a wide enough defending range that the king and the queen don't hit him that much. Whoa. That was cool.
Batiste really thinking about something. I'm not sure what.
About check raising, maybe? Maybe he wanted to check raise there?
He folded so quickly, there wasn't... He's thinking about it afterward, not during, I guess. Seems a little odd. I mean,
maybe he made a pot roast the night before and it didn't turn out that well, and he's lamenting that.
I actually did make a pot roast last week, and it did not turn out that well.
Oh, so you know how he feels.
I really do understand that. Very specific.
Ooh, K6 just limps the ace-queen over Aaron's limp.
It's got to be to limp re-raise, right? It just has to be with the 345.
He has 345 in his stack. Yeah, I think that must be his plan.
I don't like it, though, because... What's he going to do? He's going to make it 100 and then have 245 back? Well, here we go.
Randy makes it 50. You could move in over 50 if you want to.
I think you should. I think you should.
I hope he doesn't just call. Uh-oh. There it is.
Okay, well, now he actually has to flop something.
With a stack like this, I don't mind the limp if you're going to re-raise.
Yeah.
But he does have the best hand a lot of the time.
He does, but, well, it's going to work out for him here. Oh, no, he's going to bet it and just chase Randy away. And it worked. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's a check. You got to let Randy fire. Randy's going to fire so much he's the Terminator.
He does not quit.
You got. I think I would check and probably just call. Like, he bets 2/3 of my stack. I'm just going to call and give him a chance to fire the rest of it.
Maybe you thought Randy would be induced to shove if he bet?
Maybe. But that's not what happened.
He won a decent-sized pot there, but I think he could have played it a little differently.
Yeah. I think there was an opportunity to do better. K6, limping the ace-queen. Now going to limp the 7. Nope.
No, he's just capping his cards there, I think.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Good.
Dan and Taylor fold. We're on Wonka with the queen 10 off.
In the hijack, you really can open this, Wonka.
Yeah, he's gonna.
All right. I thought he was going to fold this one, too.
Back to his big sizing. Looks like 35.
35, yep.
I like it.
It's the punishment sizing. You want to play? It's going to cost you.
I like it a lot. Jake is not going to fold. I can
No.
tell you that much.
Jake is going to put in a 3-bet here.
He's going to do what the sheep tell him to do.
He's going to just call. Maybe he's trying to keep Aaron in the pot.
It's that sheep on his left shoulder there. That one's really conservative with big pairs pre-flop.
And it's closest to his his left ear.
The one on like the lower right torso was like, no, you have to 3-bet, but he couldn't hear it.
This is a huge flop for Wonka.
Yes, it is.
Jake's
double
hand
gutter.
just disappeared, but he has queens.
He does have queens. Wonka has a double gutter here, yeah. I can imagine a scenario where Wonka doesn't improve and he gets to win if he stays aggressive in his hand.
Jake trying to decide if he should donk this or he does
check. Oh,
check.
he's checked. And we've checked around, I see. And Wonka gets there.
Wow.
And Aaron, by the way, gets the low end of the straight.
Jake zooms into third place.
This is a bit of the value of 3-betting here.
Sure. I mean, it goes both ways, but
obviously.
This is going to save Jake, though, the fact that both of them have it. Aaron betting out here, he's not even going to have a decision when Wonka...
If Wonka puts chips in the pot in any fashion, Jake's just going to fold.
For sure. And it's actually Jake's going to lose the minimum because Wonka was going to call 3-bet, and he was going to call on the flop. So,
yeah.
Jake only loses $30 in this pot, or $35 in this pot. It's like a miracle.
He looks upset, but it worked out pretty well.
That is a
listen
a
to the
play.
listen to the left shoulder sheep. That's what you should listen to.
All right, so let's see if Action Aaron bets it again. This feels like it should be more of a check than a check call more than a bet here. Wonka can have diamonds. He can have the same straight. He could even have a set of sevens or something.
Ooh, I would have liked to see Wonka size it up a bit more.
Wonka's trying to get called by the one pair of hands. From
yeah,
Aaron.
I guess so.
He's targeting a really wide range.
But Aaron's got a decent amount of 2-pair pluses in there.
Yeah.
I think against Aaron specifically, he's going to think the same about 100 and 200 with all of his showdownable hands.
I don't know if that's entirely true, but the 2-pair plus hands, he may sort of group them all together anyway. Like the 1-pair stuff, maybe not. Like he might bet top pair on the turn, check the river.
He might.
He might also have like nut diamonds, hit the ace, and be checking it because it's a 4-card straight. Which does make sense. So not a terrible time to size it up, but Nick is clearly was going for a lot of value there.
And you mean Wonka when you say Nick?
Yeah, because Wonka is his name, but Nick is his name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, everyone knows what I mean there. There's Taylor with the ducks.
Oh, the ducks. You know what I haven't heard for a long time? Maybe since Gabe Kaplan? It's calling for his sailboats.
Wow, I haven't heard that in a while. You don't hear those anymore, like Walking Snick, Snowmen.
Yeah.
You don't hear that.
Batista's 3-bet to 80 with 6-5 suited. I like mixing in some suited connectors in the 3-betting range, especially if you're going to 3-bet a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not a bad idea to do it against Taylor, who's a guy who understands ranges, can read boards and things like that. Doing it against him so that way you can get away with things maybe a little more. He's not going to maybe be as sticky on certain boards.
Well, I think he's going to be pretty sticky on this one.
Yes. Let's see. I would expect Batiste might just check this back, though.
Batiste may bet just to charge all the equity Taylor has, all of the cards between the 6 and the ace that he could have.
Yeah, but he does bet 80. Small bet.
I don't hate the bet.
He's got a pair, 2 back doors. Taylor.
Just call. I think he's...
3 of hearts. Let's go. One time.
I think it might be better to check raise on this board because it's confusing. It's like you have a set or you have nothing, or ace-6 suited or ace-deuce suited.
Could Taylor just have ace-king and be check raising?
He could. I guess that's possible.
I think, yeah. There's another ace. Taylor fills up, and...
Taylor probably thinks he's going to get paid pretty well here because Batiste has plenty of trips in his range now.
He does.
Unfortunately for Taylor, Batiste... Oh, yeah, he's going for the check raise.
It's not going to work, I don't think.
This
is a pretty great idea.
If Batiste has ace-king here, it's going to be a really tough spot, and he will have to strongly consider calling the check raise.
If Batiste has 2 queens, he might bet for value. If he has king-queen, he might bluff. I really like that check.
Yeah.
It didn't work out, but...
I like the way both guys played that hand quite a bit.
Yeah.
These guys both know what they're doing, and it's nice to see them both play in an interesting, fun way that seems like it was correct.
It was a slick check on the river.
Taylor continues to make big hands and not really get paid as much as he often will with board runouts like they are.
Yeah. He probably wasn't going to get paid on that one if he bets the river anyway. I got to believe Batiste is almost certainly folding the 6-5 there.
Randy's playing this.
Oh, yeah.
I bet my bottom dollar. Bottom dollar. So what does that mean?
That means like all your dollars, including the bottom.
Right, I get it, but
like you're reaching.
How are you holding your money so that there's like a top and a bottom?
It's like it's in your wallet or it's in your pocket or something. This is before digital currency and things like that.
Well, I know. I'm talking like I feel like it's the side dollar, the end dollar. Goes to the side.
No, that's not how you actually stack dollars. Anyway.
We have a huge amount of players in this pot.
Digital Dan and Action Aaron both flop top pair.
And they both have the best kickers.
And Randy, however, is betting with his ace-8 off into the world.
I don't know if he should be betting into the world with his hand.
I don't know either, but he did it. And
I mean, if
he's
he
going to get the bad
again
news
on the turn and neither of them improve, he might win.
I don't know if he's going to get it through both of them, though. He might get it through one of them.
If he bets pot on
that is a card that makes it easier for him to win.
He can rep the king for sure.
Absolutely. He checks, though.
I mean, I would probably not have bet the flop, but if I did, I would probably be checking at this point. Well, now it's kind of anybody's game.
Yep. Anyone can win this pot with a bet, I would think.
I don't think anybody's going to bet but Randy. And here he goes.
He's going to take a shot. Let's see if he gets it through both of them.
I think Aaron will fold and Dan's going to have a decision here.
I think Dan's probably going to fold too. Randy's playing it like he has ace-queen or something, right?
Like he has ace-queen, but it's kind of odd to assume he would bet when he didn't bet the king on the turn. But it works.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like it's hard for him to be bluffing a lot there, right?
Yeah.
When he gives up on the bluff on the turn and then bets the queen on the river, not the king on the turn.
That's kind of the value of betting the flop, by the way. Like, that's not something I would do against such a large amount of players, but he starts telling a story, and he's able to get that bluff through on the river.
Now, by the way, if he checks the flop, he can tell a better story about having a king.
True, but it's less that they have to pay.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he could bet the king twice. He could go bet. Well, the king, and then the king comes,
that's
he
true.
could bet it again if
That's
he
true.
wants. Anyway, nice hand, Randy.
But when he bets the flop, he knocks out all of the random kings.
That's a great point. And he can still have like the
Yeah.
kings in his range. He's the one guy who can really have most kings. Digital Dan on the button, calling with the ace
He's got
deuce.
the small blind, and K6 is on the button with the ace deuce.
Well, I guess I misread that.
A little bit. We've got
The ace
K6.
of hearts in K6's hand.
He's got bottom pair and the nut flush draw. It's going to be hard to get action, though, with these hands.
It checks through, and K6 makes the nuts.
He's not going to get any action. That's my prediction, unless
Yeah.
somebody bluffs, which Randy might.
K6. See if he's going to put a bet in here.
Oh,
or
it
he's
looks
gonna
like
slow
it's
play
still
it.
on Randy.
Okay,
Cameraman
Randy,
jumped ahead.
there's the bet. Small bet. About half pot.
Raise or call? That's the question.
I like a call here. Let Randy fire.
I agree, and that's what K6
All right.
does. It's hard to call even with the second nuts on a 4 flush board, so I think calling is probably the best.
Randy with absolutely nothing.
He's going to go for it.
Thinking about it. No, he checks.
He checks, yeah. He wanted to take a shot. Unfortunately for K6, he's not going to get any value out of this.
Well, he gets a little tiny value.
Randy folds before the bet goes into the pot. There's Aaron chowing down.
A lot of hats. A lot of hats today.
You don't have to worry about your hair when you wear hats.
Huh.
I'm wearing a hat right now.
Is that why people wear hats? I thought it was more like to block out the sun, keep your head warm. I don't know.
For me, it's the hair thing. It's easier to not worry about.
Maybe you could tell us about other grooming tips. Hey, it's a blind race from Randy.
Okay. So for shaving,
Yeah.
you want to make sure you blind race, and then your mustache goes away. See, Randy, no mustache. Jake will be folding, although 3 of the players at this table at least would play that, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Digital Dan.
I would like to see a raise there.
Me
from
too.
Dan.
It's not the end of the world to call with that hand on the button by any means.
I imagine Wonka will be raising with the 2 9s.
I don't know.
With a blind raise and some calls.
Oh, it's a blind raise. I forgot this was a blind raise. Yeah, Digital Dan absolutely should have raised it up, and now Wonka absolutely should be doing it too. I thought Randy had I forgot that it was a blind raise.
It's always a blind raise, Jonathan.
Yeah, you're right.
I think Dan will have to call this in position.
It would be a little bit absurd to fold here, I think.
Especially considering he's under-repped himself by just calling pre-flop. Taylor will probably have to call now, too, although his stack is getting a little short for speculative hands, but still deep enough to call with the 10-8 suited.
Gets to close the action. It's pretty sweet.
We got hands with all sorts of different stuff going on, so the equity is pretty similar.
Yeah.
And
Not anymore.
That's a good one for Taylor. He might get some action out of Wonka. Probably not out of Dan.
There's a chance this will check through. Now, I guess Wonka's going to bet this most of the time. He's just raced to have the best hand almost always.
Yeah, and you get yourself in a lot of weird turn spots if you don't bet the flop.
Yeah, so many cards. Overcards, board pairing, clubs, straight draws. Straight cards come in. Yeah, I think you're really supposed to bet this.
Looks like 120, 150. All right. I think the graphics are wrong there. Looks like 120.
Can't be 150. 120, 125, something like that.
Ooh,
Digital Dan is going to call, and Taylor is loving this. Taylor's finally going to make a little money on this.
Taylor going to move in here? I think he's probably going to move in.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate. He's going to move in, hope it looks like a draw, but he's going to. I think everyone's just going to fold.
Yeah, Wonka's going to have a think about it, but he will ultimately fold.
He's going to remember that Digital Dan is behind him, and Digital Dan absolutely can have ace-10 here.
Oh, yeah. Digital
and
Dan could
snap
have
call. Taylor's all in.
You could have 2 overs and a club draw that he's going to snap call with as well.
Taylor not going to move in.
He raises, though.
Make a pot committing raise, it looks like. Yeah.
440.
Hugely pot committing. But I think he's trying to make it look like he's on a flush draw by making it so big without actually moving in.
I think the move in looks more like a flush draw.
I agree.
Either way, I think
doesn't
this
matter.
is the end of the hand.
Yeah. However he moves in, this is effectively moving in.
It would be interesting to see how that played out had Taylor not flopped so well, because it seemed like Digital Dan had some underhanded designs on this one.
It's possible he just thought I've got overs and a backdoor and whatever.
I mean, he had some plans.
I hope so.
He didn't even have a club in his hand. He for sure had some plans.
I mean, I can't read into that guy, man. That's why he's Digital Dan. That's why we call him Digital Dan, because he's unreadable. Just like that's why where he got his nickname, of course. So if you see a digital like an MP3.
Yeah.
If you don't hit play, you can't read that. It's unreadable, right? You don't know what the song is unless it's titled. That's why they call him Digital Dan. He's unreadable. What are you talking about?
I don't understand what.
There's an MP3 file that's just titled number 1. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is, so you hit play. Same thing with Digital Dan.
Yeah, okay. That happens all the time.
That's why they call him Digital Dan. I didn't come up with the nickname. Just telling you what's up.
I think you might have. Batiste folds. Aaron is definitely playing any pair, which is reasonable. He's got 2 4s. K6, I think we'll call. He likes hands like this.
Got to change the name to 10-6.
What?
I just came up with that.
That's amazing.
Taylor on the button with a reasonable hand here. I think this is a call against these guys.
He might 3-bet.
He could even 3-bet it. Yeah, it's reasonable to 3-bet too.
It's not terrible to 3-bet when Aaron opens.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
In K6, and that's what we see. I like that. That's a better play than a call. But they're both, I think, reasonable on the button.
I agree.
Aaron's going to call. K6 is going to throw it away. This is already a huge win for Taylor.
Yeah, now he's in a flip situation with Aaron, and he gets to win on most boards.
Yeah, he has the initiative. He knocks out. He's got some dead money in there. He knocks out the blinds and K6. It's great. And it's even easier now.
I think he's going to check this back.
Because of his poor kicker?
His poor kicker. He gets to pot control at the same time as induce later bluffs from Aaron, which we've seen happen a lot.
And you called it. He checks quickly.
Ooh, that's not a great card.
Not the card you want to see, but Aaron doesn't like it either. Oh, but he's reaching, and Taylor may lose this hand now.
I can't imagine Taylor folding the turn against Aaron having checked the flop.
But this is the one card, which is, it's like a little bit tougher.
I mean, yeah, if the river bet comes in, it becomes real tough. We don't have any extra equity besides our king. Hitting a 9 or a king is the only way to improve.
Yeah. That said, there's 2 flush draws out there, and
it's Aaron.
Aaron doesn't have to have it.
It's action Aaron. Look at his name.
Yeah, Taylor's going to make the call here. However, if Aaron decides to bet the river, it's going to be a really tough spot.
It is. Taylor's plan, I liked his plan, but this is a card that kind of ruins his plan.
Yeah.
Although he's still going through with it.
Oh, and now the diamond draw comes in. So will Aaron decide to rep it?
No, he gives up. That's lucky for Taylor.
Check quickly.
I think Taylor would probably fold if Aaron bet big on the river. But Aaron doesn't necessarily know that Taylor has just a king there, especially when Taylor checks back the flop and calls the turn. It looks like Taylor has a decent-sized ace because he 3-bet. He could even have ace-queen there.
He can have ace-queen. He can have ace-jack.
He could have ace-king if he can have king-9. So it's...
He can, but he's going to bet ace-king a lot more than king-9.
Yes, he is, but it's still possible. It's in the realm of possibilities, especially against a bluffy player.
Absolutely. In position, too.
Right. So I think that's why Aaron gave up. I think it's reasonable to give up. But if he knew Taylor's exact hand, he probably would have taken a shot there.
I mean, I don't think I would have taken the shot on the turn because that ace seems to be better for Taylor's range after he checks the flop than mine as Aaron. But yeah, I understand to give up on the river for sure. That is a blind raise.
Jake loves the blind raise. He doesn't give much action besides that, but he did 4-bet with 4s, though.
I mean, cool. that countered his action
Look
for
at the hand he gets in the blind raise. That's such a beauty.
Yeah,
spades
really
are the spadiest suit. That's always been my opinion.
Yeah, you and Norman Chad. You guys always say that.
Does Norman Chad say that?
He says exactly that.
Man, I'm getting old.
Yeah. We all think that.
Thank you.
We talk about that.
By the way,
you're not around.
I think we have a raise to 15. It says, yeah, Randy's raised to 15.
He's clicked it back from the small blind.
Batiste has a real hand here, so it's going to get a little more expensive.
Yeah. Pretty hard for Randy to have anything here. I think Jake just is going to have to call this.
Yeah, it's too...
No, come on.
Jake.
What are you doing?
This is just going to get through, I guess, because I don't think Randy's going to call.
That's just an absurd fold. Jake, you got position on Batiste, and it's only $65, man.
Did the RFID table get it wrong for the only time ever? Is that what happened?
I'm going to bet against that. Now, Jake feels a little bit better seeing it's 2 10s, but he also knows he's got a hand which cracks big pairs.
Yep. It did block all his straights, though.
It blocked some of his straights, and it didn't block any of his flushes, and it didn't block any of his 9s or 8s, man.
It did not.
We get to be in position. An ace-high board, we get to win.
Is Aaron going to open the 9-6? I think that's not blind, although I'm not sure.
I am not sure either. I missed that one. 20, I'm going to guess he looked at it. But I don't know.
It's more likely he didn't based on the hand itself, but it is Action Aaron.
I mean, it isn't like it's 7 deuce off, and it's Action Aaron. His name is Action Aaron.
He prefers calling under the gun opens with 7 deuce off to opening them himself.
He has a kung fu grip, that guy.
Is that so?
That's why they call him Action Aaron.
Well, Batiste is likely to be raising here.
Second hand in a row, he's going to put in a meaty 3-bet.
For those who remember the first session of Poker Time, Batiste got in a lot of trouble against Jake when he did not 3-bet ace-king in a spot just like this. Ended up paying off a huge bet on the river.
Yeah, an all-in bet on the river. When Jake made the nuts and Batiste had top 2.
And he's just going to get through this time, which he would have preferred that other time.
As it turns out.
Yes.
Yes. People always complain when they make a big raise with ace-king and they get no action, but ace-king loses a lot.
Not everybody complains. A lot of people show it and are happy.
You know what? You're right. A lot of people complain.
And they say, I hate this hand. I never win with this hand. Everybody else beats me with it. I never win with this hand.
Yeah, I need the bad hands. Give me the bad hands. I can't with the good hands. That's a familiar refrain at the poker table.
We could come up with a drinking contest where you hear the familiar stuff at the poker table and get you real drunk real quick.
Here's another limp by K6. So I guess he's got a limping strategy because he's limped ace-queen down for 2 times.
And Taylor's got the same hand. I don't think he'll be limping.
No, he's going to put in I'm going to guess $30 to $35 raise.
Looks like 35, I'm going to say. No, you're right. I will commit seppuku.
Randy calls with the Jack 10, and Batiste certainly not folding.
He might 3-bet. He might call. We've seen him do anything here. He's just going to call.
Yep.
Jake has 7-4 suited. That's not a hand he's willing to play at the moment.
This is another great spot.
Yeah, especially considering how many calls there were.
And in his stack size, he's got 430, and there's 150. There was 25 in the pot. It's a beautiful time to move in.
Randy, meanwhile, flops the best hand with Jack 10.
Batiste and Action Aaron also hit the board.
So Randy's going to get some action, especially considering his reputation.
Yeah.
Probably get 2 calls here.
There's no way Batiste is going to fold right away, and there's no way Aaron's going to fold either, knowing these guys.
He's considering raising, I think, because there are so many players in the pot. He wants to knock out other players' equity, kind of limit style.
Whoa!
I thought he was considering raising, not folding.
Too.
Turns out to be a great fold.
Maybe he just thought there were too many players around.
Aaron's going to call. K6 is reaching here.
That is a surprise.
He's going to call, it looks like.
Okay. Maybe he has some... We've seen him do this before and make some really wacky, nefarious plays that have worked.
Maybe he's trying to make a play. The problem is that a lot of the time, if he hits one of his overcards, he's going to run into 2 pair from one of his opponents.
That's a fair point.
Not this time, but a lot of the time.
Aaron checks and K6. I was wondering if K6 was just going to move in there.
Randy does pick up a gut shot. Is he going to keep betting?
He's the kind of guy who usually keeps betting his top pair, and here he goes.
Because he's the Terminator.
I think this is just going to end
250 here, yeah. Unless Aaron decides to hero. I think K6 is probably done with it.
It's hard for Aaron to hero with K6 behind him, and that stack that K6 has especially. Everyone just has to give it up.
Well, it's a nice big win for Randy.
Probably won a little more than he was supposed to. He's going to show top pair. I guess we would have expected Batiste to call, not K6, so maybe he's supposed to win about that much anyway.
I don't generally advocate showing, but I think that's a good show from Randy to show that he has top pair in his range when he bets twice there because he's had so many bluffs that these guys have seen. Like, it's not a horrible idea.
I mean, do you think it's going to change when they call? I wouldn't show anything if I was Randy. I think it's a mistake for him to show top pair. Well, like, if anyone's really paying attention.
I'd rather show a value than a bluff if I were Randy. How about that?
Why? They already think he's bluffing.
That's true. That's true.
Why not let them keep thinking he's bluffing? I kind of like that better.
Dan's going to make it 15 with the ace-king off. 15 just doesn't seem to get anything through in this game.
No, although so far so good.
Maybe if everybody has just complete trash, it'll work.
Well, we're down to 2. Okay.
K6 folds.
I mean, that is trashy, that hand, but he's Action Aaron.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's got some equity.
The computer hand.
This is the legit computer hand. And he flops a pair. This might cost him
He's going to lose at least 2 bets here. That's my guess. He's going to lead, it looks like. Now, as Dan, do you raise or do you call?
I call, personally.
I agree. Aaron has plenty of bluffs here. Don't want to chase him away with a hand like he has.
Yep. He does have, of course, some equity in this hand. There's ways he can win, but we love our spot as the digital one.
Aaron's going to bet again. So now, instead of pot control, it's almost turned into a bluff. Like he's trying to get Dan off pocket 10s here.
Maybe he thinks Dan has the nut flush draw or something like that.
Yeah, that's possible as well. Get him off the nut flush draw. Get him off of a pocket pair under kings.
Looks like Dan's decided to pull the trigger on a raise.
He's raising.
Here.
I don't hate raising against Aaron here, especially considering Aaron's sizing. He bet less than half the pot, although he's not going to get any action.
It's hard to get action with one pair when you raise. It's possible, but it's hard.
If Aaron had a
queen, he might.
If Aaron had a flush draw, he'd probably call.
I mean, Digital Dan probably thinks Aaron has a lot of kings in his range when he leads and then bets the turn, and Digital Dan thinks that's fine with me.
Yeah, he's probably calling with his kings. So it's not the worst raise in the world. I mean, we have the best king.
Yeah, king 10, king jack, king queen, and probably going to call when he makes that play. Although, I don't know, it's Digital Dan. Can you really call there?
I think you can.
It's tough. It's tough. That guy's got it a lot. He always seems to have it.
Yeah, he does. He does. Although we did see in episode 1 of this session, he made that great play with the gut shot against Randy where he check raised the turn or just raised. I don't remember if it was a check raise.
It was a check raise. It was awesome.
And it got Randy to fold top pair and show it.
Yeah.
That was great. So you can't trust your read on Digital Dan every time.
No, well, no read is perfect. We're just trying to make profitable decisions. Digital Dan going to make a profitable decision here and call, I assume, against Randy. Oh, never mind.
It's a bit of a trouble hand, even against Randy. It's not a hand you necessarily want to see a flop with, especially Randy made it 25. He usually makes it less than that.
I would like to call with that hand and have that hand personally.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's okay. It's okay to fold. It's not the end of the world.
Oh, man. That hand's pretty good in the blind. Also, let's not forget the small blind has got $5 in there, too, so we get the a little extra price, slightly better price.
I'm just trying to appease the digital one so I get to the digital afterlife.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You know why they call him Digital Dan, right?
I know why.
Why?
You know, if you have like a Mac machine and you have a keychain and it remembers your passwords and stuff?
Yeah.
That's actually Dan. He remembers them.
He's the guy?
Digital Dan. He digitally inputs them for you.
Is that his app you're saying, or he's actually remembers everyone's
he
password?
does it. So during this game of Poker Time, which was luckily for everybody filmed in the past, nobody's password was typed in. Meanwhile, we have a huge 7-way pot, or is it 6-way? 6-way pot. Not many hands out there except for Randy's, and Jake's is somewhat legit.
Action Aaron flops top and bottom. Jake flops a pair and a gut shot. That's most of it. K6 has a gutter and a backdoor flush draw.
Oh, and Aaron bet out a turn there.
Yep.
He's excited.
That's a little bit of a tell.
That's going to save Jake a little bit, maybe, to see the excitement of Aaron betting.
He's going to call once anyway, I think.
I don't know. We've seen Jake fold in spots where we don't expect him to.
True. Let's see if he throws it away right away. Got a pair and a gut shot. No interest. Wow. Well, Jake's right. He's right again.
Yeah.
These guys, sometimes I think the pros at the table, specifically Wonka and Jake, make folds that are a little too tight, but they're right way more often than they're wrong, and that's fair enough then, right? I mean, it's okay if...
And what they're doing is they're trying to avoid marginal spots.
Exactly.
They believe against this lineup they're going to find a big spot, and that's when they won't fold.
Yeah. Randy with yet another blind raise. He makes so many blind raises, I'm going to start calling him Poker Daredevil.
Nice.
You like that? Because Daredevil's blind.
Oh, no, never mind. I don't like it. I thought it was because it was daring.
No. But the Daredevil is the man without fear, so perhaps... No, Rain is the Terminator.
Yeah, he's the Terminator. Terminator is not engineered to have fear.
Well, of course not. They're not engineered to have emotions. That hug at the end of Terminator 2, that's him just appeasing the kid because it's in his programming. Too.
Although I
sense
a little fear out of the original unit when it was getting crushed by that machine.
That's transference, man. That's your own fear.
Oh, okay. I was afraid for the machine.
All right. Anyway, K6 3-bet the ace-6 of diamonds here.
And that's a great flop when you 3-bet the ace-6 of diamonds.
This is a hand he's definitely going with. He's got 250. There's 190 in the pot.
He's just going to put it all in, and that's fine.
It is.
And it's just going to get through. No more worries. Just win the pot.
I mean, you are getting called by...
Queens or fives.
Any queen, any five, which you probably get called by no matter how much you bet. But it's cool. You might fold out sevens by betting that much instead of betting like 100 or something.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's pretty good. That's valuable.
You might get called by a crying call of a lower flush draw, which would be great.
Oh. I don't know. When you bet more than pot, it's harder to get called by those hands. That's the one thing.
It is.
But whatever. It's fine. It's fine just to...
Batista's joined the party and made it 10 in the blind.
Let's see if we get another raise to 15 because those are
that happened.
Delightful.
It did. Oh, Batista has 2 7s. That's an incredibly good blind hand.
A lot of good blind hands.
New margarita. New mark. Affected my outs counting.
Discussing some element of something or other here.
Really awesome. I'm liking mine.
Not clear what's going on with this current camera angle.
We know Action Aaron has Queen 9. We know that.
Something's definitely happening behind Brittany, the dealer. She keeps looking back. Something's going on behind her, but maybe the cameraman is making some very funny jokes.
Right, here we go. Action Aaron has called. Digital Dan has called once again with King Queen. This has happened before.
These guys are calling with reasonable hands in a blind raise. I think Taylor's got to be considering raising, although, yep, he's going to raise even this hand, even though he's going to get a lot of action usually.
Well, if he hits, pot's bigger.
There you go.
Batista is not going to be folding. The question is 3-bet or just call.
Both are reasonable. Looks like he's just going to call.
He is.
He's going to bring in Action Aaron. And
oh, no.
Oh, wow.
But Dan, I assume, will call for sure.
100%. Yeah, I think these guys were going to, if Dan had raised, these guys were going to see the flop, and it all would have been the same. So let's see.
Taylor's in bad shape here against these hands. And
Digital Dan flops well yet again.
Flops the open-ender.
He's got the second most equity, but he's probably the most likely to win this pot.
Checks all the way around. I imagine if Dan bets here, he's just going to win.
Yeah, I would guess Batista's going to check again because Dan is behind him. Let's see. Yep, and now Dan, this is a great spot right here for Digital Dan to throw some digital currency at this very real pot.
I don't think it's digital currency that he's betting here. I think that's chips that represent U.S. dollars.
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree on that.
Okay, fair enough. I imagine Batista's done with it, although he's trying to find a way to call.
He wants to, but he's just like, it's Digital Dan. The guy's always got it.
And with that, Digital Dan digitally wins, and he will digitally take us to the next poker time.
Sounds good. We'll see you next Tuesday.